This video is going to contain massive spoilers for Avengers Infinity War, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, put it in your watch later, go watch the movie, and then come back. And now, let's just get right into it. Avengers Infinity War. Oh boy, how do I even describe this movie right now? Well, I mean, I know how, I've got my notes right in front of me, but just, wow. I've seen this movie twice now, and just, the movie is amazing. It's a comic book event just brought to life. Like, the way it's paced exactly like an event like the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, it would go space stuff, Earth stuff, space stuff, a lot more space stuff, Earth stuff. If Age of Ultron was a comic book come to life, then this is definitely just a comic book event just brought to the big screen. And funnily enough, the movie is well balanced, although I feel like some of the comedy scenes do drag on at times, especially with the Guardians, but that's not to say the humor's bad. The humor's actually really good. Like, I think my favourite ongoing joke was Thor calling Rocket Rabbit. I don't know why, every time he did it I just kept on laughing. But hands down, like, the best script joke was, "Where's Gamora?" And then Tony Stark's just like, "I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora?" And then Drax just like, "I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?" Drax is my favourite Guardian, man. I love Drax. Although, sadly, I think he has the worst joke, even though it's really funny where he says that he's invisible and he's eating that nut, but it goes for too long. It should have ended when Peter was just like, "Oh, how long have you been standing there for?" And Drax was just like, "An hour." It should have just ended there, but instead it went on for longer. But I do have to preface, the joke is funny, and like, it's Drax, my favourite Guardian, so why would I not think it's funny? But this movie is Thanos' movie, and he's just incredible. He's not comic book accurate to Thanos, because the Thanos in the comics is a nihilist and believes that life is meaningless, but in this whole film, his idea is that he believes that life needs to be put back into balance. Plus, he also believes that he's the only one to do it because he believes that he can be a god, and he sees himself as like this merciless man. But then he also wants to like be paternal, like he keeps calling like people like my child, like he calls Gamora his child, he calls Scarlet Witch my child. So there's definitely this sort of like benevolence about him. But Josh Brolin kicks ass, and the CGI for Thanos is just brilliant all round. And the CGI is like so well done on him is that like there are points where he feels human, like the scene where he kills Gamora. Oh my god, like when he's crying, you feel it. And just that entire scene is incredible. And like when the movie needs to be serious and chilling and emotional, it is. And it's that, but to the max. And plus, I couldn't help but just fanboy. I was like, oh my god, the Red Skull's in that scene. They finally like filled the thread where like it was the Red Skull. Like, where did he go the whole time and he's there? He's like the knight from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where he's just like the guardian of the Soul Stone. But it was just so cool to see him back. I was like, it's the Red Skull! Now, let's talk about the Avengers, because I personally think that Thor is just great in this film. He's gotten rid of his whole, like, Ragnarok cockiness, but, like, it's there at points, but it's more like Avengers Thor than it is Ragnarok Thor, but he's so good. Like, this movie is the best Thor movie. Like, his whole side quest for him to build the Stormbreaker hammer was just so cool. Like, why didn't we get that in any of the Thor films? We should have seen Thor go for, like, space forges and, like, space mines, but we've never seen any of that. But the movie does negate the end to Thor Ragnarok, but in doing so, it gives Thor, like, such a strong motivation to taking down Thanos. I mean, 1, he wipes out half of the Asgardian population, and 2, he chokes the living hell out of Loki, and that was just really sad, although I'm really glad that Loki got, like, a really heroic ending. But then this leads into, like, one of Thor's best moments in the entire film, where, like, he's talking to Rocket as, like, they're going to Nidavellir, that's it. And, you know, Thor's talking about, like, all the people that he's lost. He's lost his mother, he's lost his father, he lost Loki, he had to kill Hela. And then suddenly he starts, like, crying, but, like, he's trying to act all, like, tough and macho at the same time. It's just so well done. And just, the Russo brothers just know how to direct all these characters. Like, when we cut back to the Guardians, it feels like Guardians. I mean, maybe that's because James Gunn, like, did have a hand in writing the dialogue, because, I mean, he's an executive producer of this film, but, like, it felt like Guardians of the Galaxy. And, you know, I feel like Captain America's really good in this. Like, he's definitely changed as a person, because the scene where Vision's just like, "Oh, thank you, Captain." Like, you can see, like, he pauses, like, because, like, he just doesn't respond to that anymore, because he doesn't feel like he's worthy to be Captain America. But just his intro in the train station, like, the trains go past, and, like, you see a silhouette, and then, I think it's, like, Proxima Midnight throws one of the spears at him, like, he catches it, and he walks out the shadows, and, like, the Avengers theme starts playing. Oh, it's so good! And, like, now I've mentioned the Avengers theme, just, the music in this film is just spot on. Like, when Hulk comes crashing through the Sanctum Sanctorum and it mirrors, like, the Silver Surfer moment in the Infinity Gauntlet story, and then he's just like, "Thanos is coming! Thanos!" And, like, Wong and Doctor Strange are looking down at him, and then it cuts to the Avengers Infinity War logo, and, like, it plays out like how it did in the first Avengers film. That was just, oh my god, it was so cool! And my favourite track is when Spider-Man gets out the bus, and, like, he swings onto the bridge, and, like, the ways, like, the music just swells, it's so good. And, like, I know it seems like I'm just gushing about this film, because, like, this film is truly great. I do have some kind of, like, issues, and like, nitpicks as well, like, at the end, but just, this film is just spot on. Iron Man in this film is just really great. I love how like he's promising to Pepper like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stop being Iron Man. I promise, because I want to have a kid and stuff. But then like he can't because like Doctor Strange just appears in Central Park and is just like, we need your help. And then I love that he's reliving his worst fear, which is that like he didn't want another Battle of New York, and the fact that it's going to come, it scares him. And like they continue his like PTSD angle, which I just love, and like his banter with Doctor Strange was just really great. I love how we leave him by the end, like he's just alone on Titan with no one but Nebula, and he's just broken. And his banter with Spider-Man is just great. Like the scene where like he and Doctor Strange are talking and then Spider-Man like butts in, he's just like, shut up, the adults are talking. I was just like, did they just intentionally like flip the argument scene in Homecoming? Because that was hilarious. And you know, I wasn't expecting this to be the movie where Gamora and Star-Lord were like together, but it was, and like when they were together, it was just so cool. Like the scene with the Collector and like Thanos like holding Gamora and it's just like, go on, shoot her, kill her. She said do it, do it. And then like he's about to he pulls the trigger and like he turns the gun into bubbles. I was just like, damn, Thanos is cold. And god damn it, Star-Lord, if only like you just didn't flip out at Thanos, they could have taken off the gauntlet. Like the whole like last 5 minutes would never have happened. God damn it. And like Vision and Scarlet Witch's relationship was really cool too. And like that scene where like she has to blow up Vision at the end it's heartbreaking. But then Thanos just undoes it and then like he just like rips the stone out of Vision's head. I was just like, damn, like both theories, like both like fan theories of like, oh, they were gonna destroy the Mind Stone, and then Thanos was gonna rip the gem out of Vision's head. Like it all came true. And speaking of things coming true, like just Doctor Strange was just awesome in this entire film. Like they use magic in this film. Like he's doing all like these weird like mind bending things. Like he's growing like multiple arms and making multiple copies of himself. Now Doctor Strange said that he looked at like 14 million different possibilities and they only won in one time. But then he tells Tony Stark later on this was the only way. So my theory is that this is how they win. They let Thanos wipe out half the entire universe, something will happen to him, and I'll get onto that in a minute. But something's gonna happen to Thanos, and it's gonna make it easier for them to like grab the gauntlet, and basically just undo everything. Like maybe they get Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel helps defeat Thanos and all that stuff. And just like, Tom Holland as Spider-Man is just great. Like Spider-Man was great in this, like he has less of that annoying high-pitched voice that he had in Homecoming, so I think he's grown up a bit, like he seems a lot more mature. And like the Iron Spider suit looks really cool on screen, and just, come on, the scene on the bus is great, although I don't get how nobody noticed that, like, once he was off the bus, that Peter was off the bus. But, like, I just love Ned. Ned is hilarious. Like, when, like, the spaceship's in there, it's just like, oh, spaceship, we're all gonna die! Ned, oh man, Ned is just spot on. And then, you know, you've got the side characters, like, Black Widow's there, but she's just in the background. You've got, like, Shuri, you've got all the, like, the cast members from Black Panther. And the fight in Wakanda is amazing. Like, I got massive Lord of the Rings moments, like when they just start charging at the barrier with like the Outriders there. That was just awesome. But I feel like Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner was like overacting at points. Like he was just like having fun, but that was it. Like he didn't have like as much depth as like everyone else did. But I love that Hulk is scared of Thanos, and like that entire idea was just really cool. And just, god damn it, Russo brothers, you had to put that shot in the trailer where Hulk was running at the screen. You guys are just tricksy, man. You guys are just real tricksy. And like Hulk versus Thanos at the beginning was just awesome. I love how Thanos just decimates Hulk. And yeah, the Black Order are kind of useless. I mean, the only one I liked was Ebony Maw, and plus like that Squidward joke at the beginning. Come on, that was perfect. But the best part of the film is the ending. The ending is chilling. Those last 5 minutes was just haunting. Like, I almost cried when Spider-Man died. Like, he was grabbing onto Tony, and he was just like, Mr. Stark, I don't want to go. I lost it. I was just like, oh my god, no. Just, no. I mean, I know he's coming back, but just, that scene is just so well done. And you know, if I had to complain about anything, I would just complain that the visual effects aren't great at points. Like, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Bruce Banner when he's in the Hulkbuster have bobbleheads, and it's just really jarring. And plus, what is it, Proxima Midnight? She just looks like a video game character. Like, she didn't blend into the scenery, she just looked like CGI, and I was like, oh, you could have been done better. And I also do think that we do spend moments where we like stray away from a group of characters for too long. So like, the sequence is kind of just like, we go with Guardians, and then we go with Thor, and then we go back to Cap, and then we go back to Guardians, and then we go back to Thor, and then we finally go back to Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. And I'm just like, you spent too long on like a certain like aspect, and you didn't go back to other characters that we needed to. But then I don't know how else you would have done it, unless like there was another sequence missing. But I don't know, the pacing was a little off at points. And like the post-credit scene was really cool, but you know, I kind of wish we actually saw Captain Marvel instead of just like having Nick Fury like dial her. Although I was so happy when Nick Fury showed up, because I was just like, the whole movie I was just thinking, where is Nick Fury? Like, where is he? And then suddenly he just shows up and I'm like, hey, Nick Fury! But then he just gets erased from existence, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Now, I have a theory for Avengers 4, and it's mainly based around Thanos. I think Thanos is going to go mad with power because he has the Infinity Gauntlet. He now has this, like, phenomenal cosmic power, and, like, he's achieved his goal on, like, balancing the universe. But I think that he'll go crazy with the power, and, like, he'll leave the Gauntlet exposed to make it easy for someone like Nebula to take the Gauntlet. And I think that he will eventually turn into the Nihilist from the comics because I think that he'll realize that once he's balanced the universe and made peace, he thinks that peace is really boring and like it's meaningless. And then that will result in him going like crazy and then like going like, I'm gonna just wipe out everything. Overall, Avengers Infinity War is spectacular. I can't even like rate the film right now. Like, it's amazing. I can't even rank it in like the MCU or just comic book movies in general because there's just so much to digest. But it's phenomenal. Like, it just is. And it just truly, every sense of the word, the film is phenomenal. Hey, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, leave me a comment down below. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell to stay notified. My social media links are down in the description, so if you give them a look and a follow, that'd be real nice. And until we meet again, I'll see you guys next time.